Hey, it's Dr. Charles, aka CoachMD. In my over 30 years of medical practice, I've made it my goal to help you create a great life by achieving a strong mind, a healthy body, and an unshakable spirit. In this review article today, I'd like to go over the CDC guidelines for fully vaccinated people. We have to end these lockdowns, right? We want to get out. We want to socialize. We want to we want to fellowship with other people. We want to live again, right? So what does the CDC have to say about this? Well, we're going to go to the source, the CDC, and see what they say. Now, I know what you're thinking. Can we trust the CDC? They kind of misled us in a lot of areas. The Centers for Disease Control, that is supposed to be the central organization here in the United States that oversees and gives us guidelines for diseases, whether it's a infectious disease like a bacterial illness or a viral illness like the COVID-19 infection, or if it's a other type of disease like cancer or inflammatory diseases, rheumatologic diseases. The Centers for Disease Control is supposed to monitor and give us guidelines, but they have been off base, especially in the beginning of the coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic. Their recommendations were not always the right recommendations. So a lot of people had criticized politicians initially. Why didn't they do a better job? Well, even our medical people and scientists at the central organization that's supposed to guide us the most gave us misguided information. So we have to maybe not so much take it with a grain of salt what they're recommending now, but we want to be critical in our thinking. We want to be honest and critical, and we want to make sure that we're doing the right thing. So let's go over this. What are the interim public health recommendations for fully vaccinated people via or by the CDC? Well, here are the key points that they're talking about here. This is the first set of public health recommendations for fully vaccinated people. This guidance will be updated and expanded based on the level of community spread of SARS-CoV-2. Okay, SARS is this is the virus that the official name of the virus. Okay, and it's a systemic respiratory disease that is acute respiratory syndrome. That's COVID coronavirus 2. See, there have been many SARS viruses. This is the one that's designated as CoV-2 or coronavirus 2. Just kind of an aside, coronavirus has been around a very long time. Many colds are actually coronaviruses. Well, the proportion of the population that is fully vaccinated and the rapidly evolving science of COVID-19 vaccines, that's what this is going to depend on, the recommendations. But now, for the purposes of this guidance, people are considered fully vaccinated for COVID-19 if they're greater than or equal to 2 weeks after they have received the second dose in a 2-dose series. So the 2-dose series that are available now are the Pfizer with their association with BioNTech or Moderna. Those are the two Pfizer and the Moderna, or greater than or equal to 2 weeks after they've received a single-dose vaccine by Johnson & Johnson and Janssen. You can go to my other review of the 3 vaccines, which I did recently, which talks about the differences. But this is what they're saying. So this is for you. If you have gotten your vaccine, this is what the CDC is recommending if you have gotten it and are 2 weeks out. So fully vaccinated people, according to them, can visit with other fully vaccinated people indoors without wearing masks or physical distancing. Yay! Okay. That sounds pretty good. Visit with unvaccinated people from a single household who are at low risk for severe COVID-19 disease indoors without wearing masks or physical distancing. Okay, that's also pretty good, right? I would say so. Refrain from quarantine and testing following a known exposure if asymptomatic. Okay, so this is interesting because now we're starting to, the recommendations are loosening, and I think they should. I mean, why do we get a vaccine and why do we get vaccinated or get a vaccine in the first place? Is so it can protect us. And these vaccines do protect us. They do increase our immune response to components of the virus. So we are protected. Are we 100% protected? No. But for the most part, we are protected. And that's very, very important to understand. So for now, fully vaccinated people should continue to, and this is again the CDC recommendations, take precautions in public like wearing a well-fitted mask and physical distancing. Wear masks, practice physical distancing, and adhere to other prevention measures when visiting unvaccinated people who are at increased risk for severe COVID-19 disease or have an unvaccinated household member who is at increase for severe COVID-19 disease. These recommendations now are maybe a little bit over the top, and maybe the CDC is being a little bit compulsive here because of their misguidance before. They don't want to maybe trip up and recommend things that could actually be harmful. But let's think about this realistically. Let's think about it. These vaccines are very effective at preventing someone from getting the disease. And the disease itself, COVID-19, has a very low mortality rate in most people. So if they have a very low mortality rate, if it has a very low chance of you getting it if you've been vaccinated, if you were exposed to a person who is vaccinated or was unvaccinated, let's say, the chances of you getting it from them are going to be low, coupled with the chance of you getting it plus dying from it or getting very sick from it are even lower. See, if the vaccine does not prevent you from getting the infection, it's going to do a darn good job at preventing you from getting very sick from the vaccine, from the infection, if you're exposed to it. So my feeling is with this recommendation, yes, you should still be cautious, but I'm saying end the lockdowns right now, okay? Because when we have so many people who have been vaccinated and we have increased the chance of what you've all heard about, herd immunity, that means we all have some type of prevention in us that prevents us from getting sick. If the mortality rate in most people for COVID is very low, let's say way less than 1%, then the chance of you getting really sick when you've been vaccinated, when you have some type of immunity, is going to be very low. And I just have to point this out. This is a very interesting statistic, and you could check this, fact check it, if you will, that the mortality rate actually after getting the vaccine is almost equal to the mortality rate of the infection itself. Now, which is around 0.2, 0.3%. That's a very low percentage. So don't get me wrong. I do feel the vaccines are good. I think we need them. I resent the fact that we need it. That's another whole other discussion. I've talked about that. I resent the fact that we need them, but it is here. It is a potentially deadly virus in many people. The death rate goes way up in certain age groups and also certain people with multiple medical problems. But overall, the mortality rate is very low. And the mortality rate and chance of you dying from the vaccine is also very low, but it's increased if you are in one of those groups as well. So unfortunately, this is a call for you to get in better shape, take care of yourself, take care of those medical problems. But I just had to point that out, that it is out there that the rates of death after the vaccine within a month are pretty much comparable to the overall mortality rate of COVID. But don't let that stop you from getting the vaccine. I know it sounds a little sketchy, but that's that's my opinion. I'm not telling you what you should or should not do. You ask your doctor about that. As I always say, don't take my word for it. Ask your doctor. I'm not giving you medical advice here, just my personal opinion. So what else does the CDC talk about? Wear masks, maintain physical distance, and practice other preventive. Whoops. Wear masks, practice physical distancing, and adhere to other prevention measures when visiting with unvaccinated people who are at increased risk for severe COVID-19, as we talked about. Wear masks, maintain physical distance, and practice other prevention measures when visiting with unvaccinated people from multiple households. And so that goes along with avoid medium and large size in-person gatherings. I don't know about you, but I think all of us have become a little bit germ phobic, right? I mean, it's not no fault of our own. It's been thrust upon us with something a year ago that we never knew about, we never faced, our bodies were never exposed to it, our government was never exposed to something like this in the modern day. So it's trying to figure out what's the right thing to do. And right now, I think we can open things up maybe at the end of this month when we have multiple millions of people been vaccinated. Let's stop this kind of Neanderthal approach. I know that word has been used for as a negative against some states opening things up, but guess what? Why are we vaccinating then? What's the purpose? So we can sit at home and still be afraid? No, I think this is going to alleviate a lot of fear, and I think these recommendations are pretty good. But I think we could be a little bit looser with, in my opinion, with letting people be exposed to other people. And of course, this is, get tested if experiencing COVID-19 symptoms, follow guidance issued by individual employers. And that's important. Some employers are now offering the vaccines at their place. They're not requiring them. I don't think they should require them. I think there's enough people who are going to be willingly accepting vaccinations that's going to increase our herd immunity enough. So I think that, in my opinion, that they should not be mandatory. Now, of course, a plug for the CDC, follow CDC and Health Department travel requirements and recommendations. Well, these are the CDC loosening up their recommendations. I agree for the most part with that. I am excited that we have maybe artificially increased herd immunity and accelerated it, because if we allowed for the herd immunity to happen on its own, it would have been a long time, probably several years. So I'm excited about that. Let's get going. Let's open things up, and let's start fellowshipping again and sharing life together. I hope you found this useful. If you did, please subscribe, comment. Let me know what your feelings are, whether you agree or disagree with me. And if you feel this could help enlighten others, my page, again, I talk about a lot of things besides just health, and it's very important. And I encourage you to understand that. And while you're at it, stay strong in mind, in body, and in soul. Bye for now.
Dr. Charles, CoachMD. Thanks for stopping by. Make sure to like and comment below. I'd love to hear from you. If you think you have a friend who might benefit from this video, share it with them. For access to exclusive content, support my Patreon. There you'll get private access to videos, meditations, health tips, even relationship and financial tips. You'll have a say in what I produce and be able to participate in a monthly call with me. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. See you soon.